Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
Good morning and welcome to Keep It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell Team right here at Long Realty Studios. I'm Dion Ethell and I am your host, but before we get started, I want to tell you about a great event. So I want you to join the fun for a cause at Casino Night, brought to you by Just Kids Inc. This is this Sunday from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. Doors will open at 3:30 p.m. at Doc's Watering Hole. $500 in gaming chips, hors d'oeuvres, comes with every ticket. Craps, blackjack, poker, roulette, all by professional dealers and tables. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tickets are $60 at the door, $50 in advance, or $90 for two if you can do it ahead of time. So again, Just Kids Inc. Casino Night, their biggest night of the year. Come on down and have some fun with us at Casino Night. We'll be one of the big sponsors. May 17th, that's Sunday, 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Doc's Watering Hole. Now let's get started with our show. We've got a great show with Sun and Spokes coming right up after these messages. We'll be right back.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree for military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, good morning, good Saturday morning to you. Well, welcome to the Keepin' It Real radio show, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. And we're here in sunny Sierra Vista on this Saturday morning. First, I want to introduce Lisa Gustafson from CoolFM. She is co-hosting again.
Am I still a guest, or can I have a seat?
I don't know. Maybe it's a permanent title.
I feel like
you
I
have
need a
seat.
seat now, and my name on the seat.
Right? I mean, nobody sits there but you,
it.
so
I love
it's kind of
coming
reserved
here.
for you. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. So I also have Meghan Guler and Cody Gagnon, and you guys are Sun and Spokes. Welcome to the show, first of all.
Cool. Yeah, thank you guys
thank you for
having
having us.
We always like to get to know the people behind the business because every business has wonderful people working for it or owning it, and there's a story behind each person. Let's start with you, Meghan. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
No pressure,
Yeah.
Meghan.
No pressure.
So I am a transplant. I grew up in a military family, spent most of my life in upstate New York at Fort Drum.
wow.
I am a physical therapist. And so several years ago, probably about 8 years ago now, I was working as a traveler through a series of events, landed me in Sierra Vista. That is how I got into biking. It's how I met Cody, and that's how I'm here.
Okay. Welcome here. And so let's talk to Cody a little bit about his background. Tell me about your background. How'd you get here?
Yeah, so I grew up here in Sierra Vista.
Oh, wow.
Were
yeah.
you born and raised here, Cody?
I was raised here, but I wasn't born here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Where were you born?
I was born in Massachusetts.
That sounds so nosy, doesn't it?
I know. Where were you born?
Where were you born?
What's your social security number?
Yes. Yeah, so my
Massachusetts. Wow.
my parents.
That's big jump.
Yeah,
long ways.
my mom's from here.
Oh, okay.
She grew up here with her siblings, and my parents met in Massachusetts. My mom was going to college, and long story short, when they split up, we ended up coming back to Sierra Vista. Megan and I even moved away for a little while and came back almost primarily because of the sunshine.
We've
So-
been getting
sure.
all the weather alerts.
Well, that's one nice thing about this area here is it's almost year round, great
Yes.
weather. I'm from Oregon, originally from the Northwest, so lots of rain, and Oregonians, they're still out in their shorts, late into the fall, but so it's a little bit different, but it's still kind of rough weather 6 months out of the year at least. Here it's kind of nice, can do whatever you want pretty much almost all year long. So
Definitely all year long.
I'm chuckling
cool.
because as an Arizona native, I know nothing about what you guys are speaking of. I just know great weather all year
we
round.
are
all
going
the
to
time.
see now you have a mission to get Lisa on a bike and get her out there bicycling at
Okay,
least.
I knew he
Do
was going to
something.
bring that up. I said, "Here's the one thing I am not familiar with." Right? Anybody that knows me knows I am not a
Yet.
bicyclist. And here's the thing: coming in and chatting with you guys all the time at Set and Spokes, it makes you want to buy a bike. Like I remember going home and I remember saying to Mike, I said, I want to buy a bike. I think this is something I could get behind.
Yeah.
Because you two are so incredibly passionate about everything that you do and all the trails you go on and all the fun you have. It's something I want to get involved in.
Yeah, and now they make
is fun.
bikes with motors in them, so you barely even have to
Even
worry.
Right.
better.
Right. We're definitely going to have to talk about your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
So first, let's introduce your business a little bit. It's Sun and Spokes. It was Bicycle Shop, but we talked offline a little bit before the show. There's more to it than that now. Tell me a little bit about your business. Either one of you or
Yeah.
both of you, however you want to kind of
Yeah,
kick it
so
off.
it's been Sun and Spokes Bicycle Shop for actually 50 years last month. So it's,
Right.
wow,
it's been
50
Wow.
years.
Yeah, it's been that for a
Yeah.
long time.
Definitely
Wow.
a community staple.
Yeah, but we purchased Sun and Spokes last year, and Megan and I are also heavily involved in the running community as well. So we run a lot of ultra distance trail races primarily, and we were like, hey, there's no run specialty store in town. You can buy running shoes, but there's no like actual run store in town. So we brought in running shoes. The name is still Sun and Spokes Bicycle Shop on the store because there's a big huge sign up there, but we are slowly kind of changing it to Sun and Spokes Bicycle Running Shop.
We certainly want to be able to know what kinds of things are available to us. I know that we've seen, and probably everybody listening out there, you probably are driving right past one of the signs that says HOKA's and
Right
with your
there
name on it
on
and everything.
Fry Boulevard.
And Spokes. So how did that whole thing get started? I mean, you guys are into running, and you mentioned the type of running you're into. Tell me a little bit about that first.
Yeah. So actually, Megan got me into. Like I said, I grew up
So
here.
you're the runner.
Yeah, we both are. Now.
I was going to say, that has also evolved over time.
Yeah, but
Okay.
so I grew up here, racing mountain bikes all across southern Arizona. I mean,
Yeah.
even into northern Arizona as well. But so always been a cyclist. Always been on two wheels, bicycles, dirt bikes, BMX bikes. It doesn't really matter. And then Megan was the runner, and just from being around her for the last 6 years, I've kind of slowly picked it up. And so now primarily we do a lot of ultra distance trail running, which is essentially a 50K or more, so 30 or more miles.
Good Lord.
Our
Dion and I are like, excuse me?
yeah.
Do it while you're young.
Hard no.
So our training runs
Wow.
will be,
Good grief.
can be significantly less than that. But when we sign up for events, a lot of times they're 50K, 50 miles.
Wow.
Oh my
Megan's-
gosh.
Megan's done several 100-mile races.
I used to do that with my Boy Scouts, and I was a scout leader for a long time, and I used to do that 50 milers and whatnot. But we did it in a week.
Yes.
It wasn't like
It's
for
like
speed.
there was no afternoon.
Yeah, there was no speed
Also, I
behind
never
it.
did that with my Girl Scouts or anything, just so we're clear.
Yeah, that's some
Running
serious.
also.
Yeah. You must change shoes like constantly.
See, this is why they have the
Yeah.
need for the running shoes,
Yeah.
right? They're
That's
like, we need to sell these.
It's definitely what got us into the space, and Megan
Yeah.
can speak more on.
Yeah, it's funny because when we first established relationships with HOKA and Altra,
Yeah.
our Ultra rep actually made a comment about my social media, and he said, I would spend time talking about the shoes and educating you guys, but it seems like you already know probably
You're
just
the
as much
expert.
as we do.
Aw, see?
That's awesome.
She had like
That
every
is
pair of ultra
very
shoes.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
She has a picture on her Instagram of like 15 different pairs of ultras.
As far as the brands, because you are a user, right? You go to some places and you'll meet people, and they kind of run or they kind of do this or kind of do that, but they're not like super big experts. They haven't used them all themselves.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than somebody who's actually put the product on their feet and actually gone out there and run with them too. And they know the ins and outs, and they look at you, and they'll decide, are you a promoter and all these other things, and what should I get, and how to do that. So do you guys do that for people too and try to talk them through that process?
Absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that we're considered a run specialty shop. So there are different levels of being able to sell these brands, and HOKA and Altra are very niche brands.
Right.
And so it's not necessarily an easy process to get this set up, but what they really liked about us is that we're familiar with the product. They like that we're all about community in motion, and so a lot of what we're doing and what we believe in parallels a lot of what they're doing as a brand.
Right.
They liked that I'm a physical therapist, and so
Right.
Made for this.
They said, we hit the jackpot here.
Yeah. So they actually had their medical rep reach out to me, and we're coordinating some cool stuff with some of the local clinics.
No kidding.
To come. And so there's that aspect of it too. So it's not just we're selling shoes. Sure, we have shoes for sale, but there's also a very special process that goes through behind selling a person a pair of shoes.
And there's a reason people pay the money for a specialty shoe,
yes.
right?
For sure, right.
I mean, you think about people and everyone, whatever your hobby is, you're going to spend money in that area. But if you're running 30 miles, I'm still I can't even say this. You want a good shoe. I know these shoes better than anyone.
Yes. Well, and it's fun because, I love what I do as a physical therapist. Right now I'm not actively practicing. I've been in the shop full time, but being able to still use a lot of those concepts and principles and a lot of my training just in a different and rewarding way has been a lot of fun too.
Well, I hate to break up a good thing because I've got tons of questions now, but we're going to do it right after these messages. We'll be right back, folks, with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and Team, right here at Long Realty Studios in sunny Sierra Vista. We'll be right back.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you. Their approach? Personalized service. Above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation. You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I am your host, and I'm co-hosting today with CoolFM's Lisa Gustafson.
Hey, Dion, what's going on? It's funny because he's like, I'm with Lisa as a guest, but I just keep showing up, and you keep letting me be here.
I'm going to stop calling you a guest. You're not really a guest. You're part of the show.
I love it.
She shows up whenever she feels like it, and it's often, so it's
she's
fine.
Like, she's here a lot,
no,
and I like it. We have
is.
fun.
It's good. We do have a lot of fun together.
She brought us in.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I bring you all the
she
cool
brings
cats.
a lot
right?
of people, so it's always great. Let's get back and talk a little bit about your business here in terms of, we've talked a little bit about running. Tell me about bicycles. You said, I think, Cody, you were always a cyclist of some kind, right?
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of time on bikes, and did you do any competitive biking at all?
Yeah. So, like I said, I grew up riding mountain bikes all throughout Arizona. I raced mountain bikes in high school, actually for the Buena mountain bike team. So the old owner so the old owner of Sun Spokes, Mark LaPaglia, and I actually started the first Buena mountain bike team at Buena. It was a club, but
very cool.
We started as a club, but it was the first team. That's kind of when
how it all started. That's kind of a cool thing to be able to say.
Full circle.
When NICA was first becoming a thing, we did that, and that's kind of couple years prior to that is where my initial connection with Sun and Spoke started. They're the ones who got me into mountain biking. Then started racing in high school. Mark LaPaglia was my coach, and he was actually like the head coach of the team at the time.
Yeah.
And then I've worked in and out of the shop to kind of throughout my life. So been super heavily involved in the cycling community since I was in high school. So probably since 2011, 2012, right in there.
As far as cycling, are you a cyclist too, or did you something you picked up later or because of him?
For those of you, I have to tell you, for those of you that we laugh because we're not filming, we're not on air or on radio camera, but I'm laughing because to see these two, they're like the poster children of being fit and athletic, right?
Of course,
and Megan here is so tiny and petite, and I'm like, wow, I guess if I ran and got out there and was bicycling, right? They're like so cute.
So Megan, you started picking up cycling when
I moved to Sierra Vista. So about 8 years ago, I came here on a travel contract, and I was going to the gym a lot. And I wanted to not drive to the gym. I wanted to be able to ride my bike just as another means of exercise. I remember walking into both bike shops thinking like, I know what I'm doing. How hard can this be?
Right.
I'd never owned a bike before.
Really?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't even know that I really knew how to ride a bike. And I walked in and I pretended I knew what I was doing, and both shops kind of looked at me like,
she doesn't know what she's
not
doing.
A clue.
Right.
Well,
it's a whole thing.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. Long story short, I ended up purchasing my first mountain bike. And I received a text message from Sun and Spokes like a few days later and saying, hey, we're going out to ride bikes. You should come. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay. So I showed up, and I very quickly learned that coming from flat upstate New York, I had no idea what an actual mountain was.
She was like, I really didn't know.
Yeah, no. And honestly, that's how I met both Chris and Mark LaPaglia, was through that whole process.
That experience.
Wow.
And I never looked back. And so
I got to ask, it was when you bought your bike and everything, were you thinking, well, I'm not sure if I'm really going to be into this. I don't know if I want to spend the big money. Because to be honest, I mean, it's not like going to Walmart or something. You're not in the $100 range
cruiser.
or anything.
Yes.
These are expensive bikes. And so it's a little bit more serious. I noticed, when I went into the bike shop the first time, I'm like, wow, this is an investment.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do this, I got to really do it.
Oh, 1,000%. And honestly, like, I bought my first bike from M&M, and they're wonderful over there. And I thought when they told me how much the bike was, it was like $500. I was like, yeah, see you never again. And I walked over to Sun and Spokes, and they told me about the same thing. They were like, oh, this bike, this is great, blah, blah, blah. It was like $550
like,
or
wow.
$600. I was like,
right.
no, are you sure? For two wheels and a frame? And I
sound like my wife.
That's low. I'm guessing that's like the lowest end model, right?
Very entry level, right?
Yeah, and that was very entry level at the time. Little did I know. And it's been a slippery slope, and now we own a bike shop, so that slope was steep.
Yeah,
but
that is a steep slope. I mean, we sponsored a mountain bike team this last year, and it was really fun, and we enjoyed spending time with those guys and seeing the kids riding with our jerseys and everything. And I had no idea how expensive they really were. And these guys' bikes, they've been doing it for a while, and they're very good and on the mountain bike teams and everything. And so they really put a lot into it. But they've got multiple bikes. And I was like shocked. I was like, what?
And like
you
the
just
aluminum,
keep going further and further.
Right? Are they like the, I think,
they're
is that,
even more than that.
Like my neighbor, him
carbon
and his
fiber
dad,
and everything else. They're like high end.
And I was laughing. I'm like, why do you have all these bikes in your living room? He's like, I'm not putting them outside.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a bike. He's like, it's like a $3,000, $4,000 bike, right? Or
yeah. Oh, you can get much more than that.
Right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about biking, but
that's crazy.
The lighter, right? The higher up you get, I'm guessing, the lighter they are, the more expensive.
Yeah. And that was something that I learned really quickly too, was the bike that I was on was perfect for what I intended to buy a bike for.
Sure.
But when it came to actually riding the mountains, that's when, I mean, it was perfectly capable. I learned on it. I crashed a lot. I did all the things on it, and it treated me well. But I remember when I bought my first full suspension bike after that,
Right.
and it just blew my mind. I was like, this existed the whole time and no one told me?
Why
much
did I
of a
have
difference-
Why did I have this lower $500 bike, right?
Right. But then I really realized that bikes are one of those things that you get what you,
get
pay,
what you
for.
pay for.
Yeah,
100% do,
Like there's
right.
definitely a quality difference. There's a durability difference. Their capability is totally different. So
And their weight is
they're-
quite a bit different
Oh,
too. Like how much
1000%.
how much lighter was your future bike from your first one then compared to the bike?
goes, "I don't wanna
Because
say."
I'm sure you got a nice bike now.
yeah, my bike now I think is like 20 pounds. My bike previously was probably closer to 30 if I had to guess.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, and you really do notice it on those hills and everything. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Climbing.
Yes,
Yeah.
climbing for sure. I never realized when I got the lighter bike, I felt so fast. I was like, don't blink, you guys. You're going to miss me.
She's like, I'm Superwoman.
Well, and it's kind of funny too. Even like it's a huge thing to have a bike that fits you.
Yeah, and it's just like the shoes. Like people come in to look at bikes, we fit them to a bike, or we make sure that they're buying a bike that's proper size for them, just like we do when they come in to buy shoes. So we have to make sure the seat height's right, make sure that the frame is actually the right size for them, all that kind of stuff.
Does that change with, let's just say, body type?
I don't know why.
I don't know how I wanna
I don't know
say
why
that.
you're looking over here. At me,
I'm not
Dion.
saying anything about you. I'm thinking myself.
I don't know
you
why-
So I'm a tall guy, right? So I'm
Like,
a
from
tall
Dion
guy.
to me.
And you got tall and short and
Men,
heavy
women.
and
Yeah.
light and so there's a lot of different sizes and shapes.
Yeah.
How do you
And then-
how do you do that?
Yeah, because then you also have people that are, maybe they're tall, but their legs are shorter and,
Oh,
their,
yeah.
and their torso is longer
Sure.
versus someone who's the same height but has longer legs, shorter torso, or whatever, the opposite of what the other person
Yeah.
has. So, we'll have people come in all the time like, oh, I was on Giant's website and it said I should be riding a medium. And it's like, but you got a long inseam on you, so really you could probably ride a large. And then sometimes people are right in between as well, so that we put them on both and
Try 'em out.
we'll figure out a couple different things to see what they're more comfortable on. But
I know we've come to become this society where we order a lot online, right? You only have to go to the post office to see stacks and stacks of Amazon,
Yep.
boxes and everything. And it's convenient to order online. But like we were talking about before the show, I bought a pair of HOKAs and I bought this pair of shoes. And then when I got it, it was a little bit different than I expected. And it wasn't quite the shoe. Still love it. I'm going to use it for something else, but it wasn't for what I intended it to be. And so it's really nice to have a store here that you can actually go in, get some expert advice, and to be able to actually get something that fits perfectly to you and without having to guess. And I know you can send stuff back, but I don't know how everybody else is out there listening today, but I hate doing that. I hate sending something back.
yeah, and they've made it like super easy to do now
They
too,
have.
but it still sucks.
Some people
It's
still won't do
still-
it.
it's still a
He's
pain.
one of them, I guess.
Well, and sometimes too, you look at that box that's sitting. I've got a couple of them sitting on my table right now. The wife bought some stuff and she's like, oh, that's not what I wanted. And now we got to send it back, and it sits there, and we both look at it. Oh man, we got to take care of that, and we're busy, and
I know
it just
that.
doesn't
I know
happen.
that feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you're like,
and
oh
then
my
some
gosh.
people are like, I'm not even sending it back because I'm not going to stare at it
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
long and never take it back.
Yeah, I almost could
But
just
so
give
it's
it away.
cool that you
Yeah.
could do that here, right?
Yeah, it's very cool. Now, we really think that would be neat to have. Now, tell me a little bit about, in terms of your bicycles and everything, what range of bicycles do you have? And this may be a weird question because both of us are not really big cyclists, right? So
we're not the pros.
I'm kind of dumb on that part of it. Do you have from the entry level kind of bike
Right.
to the very experienced bike?
For somebody that has never been in before. Let's say
Yeah.
somebody my age, older, comes in.
What
and-
age is that, Lisa?
No,
No,
we're
just-
saying older. Here's my experience with bikes. So bikes mean a lot to people.
They
He
do.
just bought a 1984 Redline, paid an astronomical amount of money for it because from his childhood he remembers this bike, right? And so it's very important to him.
Okay.
And so then I
it's
was like,
nostalgic, not necessarily performance.
nostalgic, but he spent a lot of money back in 1984. Somebody stole it, and he's had this. He had to get it back.
Get it back.
Yeah, so that's a whole other story.
Gotcha.
But unbelievable the amount of money that people will spend on these bikes, right? So then I thought, okay, I'll get into bikes. So let's say I come in and I say I want to start riding. you're going to have something for me and you're going to know what to put me in versus a 15-year-old coming in and saying, hey, I want to go mountain biking.
Yeah, we definitely do. We actually primarily try to carry that entry level to kind of like middle of the line type build, because most people that are coming in are people that are trying to get into it. And then our expert riders that do want a new bike, they've been riding for several years. They know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
So we'll order it for them. But we do like to keep some high-end stuff on the floor for people to look at. But yes, so 80% of the people that walk in the door are people that are just trying to get started. So.
Yeah. How soon is it from people, would you say it's a large majority of people that come in and get started regardless of age, that they come back and they say, I want the next step up?
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on what their intention for the bike is. We host a lot of group rides, and so we see a lot of those folks who are coming through like for Huachuca, or people who are visiting in town or coming down from Tucson, or even who live here who are just like interested in getting started, and they'll come out on some of the group rides with us, and we see those folks probably progress into those higher end bikes a little bit more quickly. Someone who's coming in and they're looking for transportation or just something to go get the mail on, I don't think that we're seeing that progression as much in those folks. But it comes down to what you're using the bike for. It goes back to my first bike experience where, it was perfectly capable, but it wasn't comfortable.
You didn't know what you needed.
Yeah. You were thinking you were going to use it for transportation, kind of.
Right.
And
then she ended up vomiting it down Brown Canyon.
Yeah, those are very different bikes.
Rattling it
She's
apart.
like,
as I say,
Cody.
Did it end up
Thanks,
in pieces eventually?
No, actually, I mean, the bike that I started off with was a Trek Marlin, and it was the best for a beginner bike for me.
Right.
I'm a smaller person, and so my clearance with rocks is a lot lower than most adults. So that's where I noticed it the most, when I sized to a little bit of a different size, but also just a very different geometry of bike. But at that point, I'd also met people who were super supportive in helping me through that process of this is what you would like and wouldn't like based on what we are riding and things of that nature. And so I'd already developed those relationships where I didn't necessarily have those relationships before. And so having those relationships, I had that guidance, and I knew that I could trust them too.
Right.
That's something where you first walk into a bike shop, you don't know. You think that, it's everyone's out to get you with prices, right?
Of course.
Everyone's out to make an extra $1. I didn't know that I didn't have that experience at the time. In hindsight, I do know that now. But it's something that we really pride ourselves in with our guys too, is the integrity. So a lot of people have established that relationship with our guys, and if they haven't, I trust that they will when they come in, is we're not going to sell you a product that you don't need or try to upsell you on anything that we don't truly believe in would be beneficial to your situation. Awesome. So our guys are really good at giving examples of hey, here are your options. Based on what you're telling me, this is what I would recommend. Based on my personal experience, this is what I recommend. But ultimately, it's up to you to make that decision.
Realistically, though, I mean, that's why people come back to the same places, though, because I feel like I got a good deal for what I was looking for, and they put me in the bike that I needed to be in at the time. That's a good one. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and her team right here at Long Realty. We'll be right back, folks, with Sun and Spokes.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on Cool 104.1 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keepin' It Real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
All right, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I am your host. I'm here with Lisa Gustafson from CoolFM, and we are talking to Sun and Spokes co-owners Meghan Guler and Cody Gagnon. Now, one of the things you had mentioned before the break is you talked about, I don't know, what would you call it, a community bike ride or something, or group ride, or group rides.
Yep.
So how often do you do those?
Megan, what's the word that you use to describe?
Community emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think is really cool.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is our shop hashtag.
So it's your tagline. Okay.
That's been around since Mark, and it's a lot of what we do. One of the reasons that we brought the shoes and the running apparel into the shop was because it paralleled a lot of what our shop mission already is, and that is get people moving.
Yeah. And you do that
motion.
weekly.
You guys are young and you're both fit, but for people who are older, keeping in motion, that's a real thing, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I can tell you, if you watch somebody who has spent a lifetime, I had a guy in here who was 87 years old. He went to the VA games and he won
I remember he won like all those
7
medals.
gold medals
Yeah.
and a silver medal, and I was like, what? And I see him running all the time by my house. But it's because he has made it part of his life, and keeping moving really matters. If you just sit in front of the TV the whole time, really tough on your body.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's just
is.
tough on your body. So it pays dividends later.
Definitely.
And you guys do it so you do a running get together weekly and a biking one as well, right?
Correct.
Yep. Yeah, so we have 2 like official group rides every week. We definitely
every week.
We definitely have some more rides that happen. You can stop in the shop and ask about those because they change all the time. But
are they for the beginner or for the advanced person or both?
So our 2 official group rides. One's on Wednesday evenings at 6:30. We ride Brown Canyon. It does require lights. It also is a little bit more of an intermediate ride. So we'd always tell people like, hey, I'd recommend if you haven't ridden this trail, go ride it in the daytime first. It's definitely one of those more like intermediate trails. And then we also have a Saturday morning group ride that is just focused on getting people on bikes. It's gonna be a very easy ride, a lot slower pace, plenty of stopping points. And again, it's just focused to get people out there riding bikes.
Do you have to be a customer of yours to be able to be on that ride?
Nope.
Anybody can
So
join.
anybody can do
Anyone,
something.
any age.
So somebody listening here and
I got
likes
my-
to bike and they can come out.
I got my mom out there. Like,
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
yeah, it was funny. She got an e-bike.
He's
and,
looking at us like, for the older folk, like you guys.
Well, she doesn't ride bikes, but like, she got an e-bike because she wanted to go ride around the neighborhood and stuff. And this ride is, like I said, anybody can go. And so
Do you
we
guys
got out there, she had a
carry
good time.
e-bikes?
We
Yes.
do. Yeah.
I can
carry
get
e-bikes.
behind that.
What's your thoughts on e-bikes? They seem like they're getting more and more popular. What do you think of it? Because you're probably a little bit of a purist, you've spent so much time on a bike.
From the actual cycling standpoint, I'm still at the point where I am kind of a purist. I definitely just want to be on a regular bike, but I also see the benefit of them, especially with a lot of people that come on some of our bigger, longer, harder rides. I mean, we have people in their 60s and 70s that are on e-bikes, and they've been avid cyclists their whole lives. It's getting harder for them to do stuff.
Right.
And they're on e-bikes, so they're still out there riding with us.
They're still out there.
Oh,
It's
that's
getting
kinda
them
cool.
out there,
And
right?
that's neat.
Yeah, and that's just
Okay.
one side of the e-bike. The main thing that you guys see, the biggest thing that's going on right now with e-bikes is just like more of a commuter type e-bike. People are using them to get to school, to get to work.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just like a perfect machine for commuting. So we carry a lot of that stuff as well because people, mom's got to go to work early. The kid can ride his bike to school faster. So
What's the range on a bike
probably
like
what
that?
I see.
I mean, I see people riding around, but I mean, I haven't really looked into them. We thought about maybe getting some so that we could go when we travel and have a bike. But
Yeah.
Dion's like,
no, they
wait,
last. Well,
Lisa and I were thinking about those for the vineyards. I don't know.
right,
yeah.
So let's talk about why.
Yeah.
how far can you ride on one?
They last quite a while. So they all have different modes, like power modes. So it really depends on what mode are you riding it in. Are you riding it over a bunch of hills? But you can definitely get several rides out of a charge. The range depends on the bike, but most of them are close to like on those types of bikes, right around like 100 miles or so.
Oh wow!
Oh geez,
I
that's
didn't
a
think it
lot
was that
longer
much.
than I expected.
Because most of them are pedal assist, and then some of them also have an actual throttle.
Yeah.
If you're using just throttle, that range is going to go down. But if you're just using the pedal assist portion, that's going to extend the range.
When you get into a mountain bike, just for example, right? So from like you were talking about, Megan, when you get into that lower entry level, compared to the high experience level, bike, there's a long ways in between those two. Is that the same with these e-bikes? Is there like some really low range and then some high range? Because I don't know, you see different kinds of them and shapes and sizes, and I just wondered if there was something different there.
There definitely is. With the e-bikes specifically, we're only going to carry e-bikes from bike shop quality brands. So we have backing from the company. Warranty stuff's a breeze, that kind of thing.
Do you feel like that's better to go with that kind of bike rather than just something off the shelf?
Just from the sense of if a customer buys something, we have the confidence that we have a brand that's going to work with us to take care of them if there's a warranty situation
and everything else.
Yeah, but there are entry-level e-bikes. I mean, people that bring bikes in for service all the time, it's a $500 e-bike that they got on Amazon or wherever they got it from. They work. The problem is just when stuff breaks, it can be very complicated to get a hold of these because there's e-bike companies popping up left and right.
And they're
and
very specific. Like the parts can be very specific to the bike.
Oh, to that specific bike. Okay.
Not like universal. Obviously.
Right, and
so that's where it gets challenging.
And it's very hard to get a hold of a lot of these companies because they're foreign companies. You don't know how long you're gonna be on the phone.
Sense.
You're not gonna get someone on the phone.
With our brands, we have a direct sales rep,
so you can call them right up and be able to get the help that you need and get the parts that you need.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you still do the repair work, right? As well.
Yes.
Since we're kind of talking about that.
What
do you do?
We have a full repair center. So we're a Giant, Kona, Pivot, Salsa, and Marin dealer. So those 5 brands are like kind of our core brands. But we have a full service center and we work on any brand of bike. So even if it's an online bike, Walmart bike, it doesn't matter. You can still give them some advice and help them. Yeah, we'll fix and work on anything. So anybody can bring whatever they want into the shop. I mean, we fix wheelchairs, we fix all kinds of stuff.
Scooters. Really?
Well, because a lot of them have...
I guess they got wheels, right?
Well, they have like bike tires on them. The scooters, the brakes are very similar to bike brakes.
Okay.
See, look at these things you learn every day. We
surprising.
say this. I had no idea.
Shocked me a little bit because I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, trikes, recumbent bikes.
Wow.
We get all that kind of stuff. A lot of e-bikes nowadays too. We're actually at some point this year going to be investing in an e-bike bike lift because right now on a traditional bike repair stand we have to pick up these 50, 60 pound bikes.
That makes sense.
So we're going to get an electric lift similar to a car lift where you push the button, it lowers down. We clamp the bike and then you push the button and it raises it up.
Come on, you're young, you can handle it.
I know, right? I'm like, come on.
So we work on anything.
And all the basic stuff, honestly, every time I've been in there must be a lot of bikes that need repaired or tires or something because every time there's nobody that ever isn't working on one of the bikes there, and you can see it, right when you guys walk in. But
do you see a lot of bikes for repair each month, or how many pieces of equipment do you probably see in a month?
Whoa,
that's our main.
That's a lot.
Obviously, we have the whole retail side of stuff with the bikes and accessories, running shoes, nutrition, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, you do nutrition. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. So we have all that, and it all kind of goes hand in hand between biking and running. But the main thing that's the guys are busy with every single day is people bringing in bikes. Yeah, bike repairs, flat tires.
See a lot of flat tires. Everyone loves those.
Right.
Yeah. Local goat head.
Yeah.
The goat head population.
Don't they make a tire that is kind of like...
Have they not, right? Come up with something?
Flat-free,
There's many different solutions, but we have like a thicker thorn-resistant tube with sealant in it, and when we install it for you, for a 1-year warranty with it. A lot of people think that like, hey, do you have those like flat-proof tires? They're thinking like solid rubber tires.
Yeah.
They do make similar stuff.
That would not be good, probably.
But, yeah, they're very hard to install. They don't make them for all different sizes. The most effective thing is usually that thick tube with sealant in it, because it can get punctured.
That goop, is that like that?
We don't carry the slime, but
let me ask you about that. People use that a lot, though, right? You see it,
1,000%,
and I've heard that is so bad.
It's usually because they're either not using it right, but also the stuff you're thinking about is called slime. It's just the green stuff you buy at Walmart.
Right.
I mean, it will work if everything goes right.
If you need it.
If the stars
align.
And
we're using a liquid sealant similar to that. It just works a lot better. And then some bikes, we go a step further, like the e-bikes, like the big ones that everyone's using to commute around. A lot of time we put a liner in there as well as a tube with sealant in it.
Okay.
And that's why you have a professional.
And this is why you
It's
go
important.
to Sun and Spokes.
Right.
Right. But we also have a group run. We have a group run every week as well with the shoes.
I know.
Tell us a little bit about that. What's that look like?
Yeah, so our group run is every Thursday. We leave from Tompkins Park on 7th Street by the restrooms. Right. That's where we meet. It is a 3-mile loop on the multi-use path and sidewalks. Up to this point, through the summer it was light out, and then we went through a dark period of winter time.
Right.
And so people were bringing lights out. Right now it's staying lighter longer.
How big of a group do you usually go in?
It depends. So some weeks, I told Cody when we started this group run, I didn't really care who showed up. I wanted people to get whatever they were looking to get out of it. So we've got, a 14-year-old who will run a 7-minute mile. And then we've got people who are just getting into running for the first time ever, who are running maybe 15, 16, 17-minute miles because they're run walking. We have a full range of paces. And I think that's the most intimidating thing for people is they're like, well, I don't want to be the slowest one.
There's a whole mix.
We're all going to the same place. And
Everybody.
like that's yeah.
guess
There's
that's one
no
way to
time.
look at it, right?
And really there's no time frame on it.
Right.
So unless you're in a hurry to get somewhere, and you're more than welcome to show up a little bit early.
Who cares?
Yeah,
Just
who
show
cares?
Up. You're out there. You're being active,
Absolutely.
right?
So as the organizer, I got to ask you this then. You go on a run with a bunch of people, and
Yeah.
knowing that there's some fast runners and some very slow runners, where do you put yourself, and is that purposeful?
I'm with the slowest runner.
Okay, you're with the slowest runner. Keep
Yeah.
them going.
Yeah.
Keep them motivated.
Yeah, I'm with
I love it.
I
the
do
person.
too. Very cool.
Whoever is in the back of the pack, that's who I'm with. And I might run ahead, depending on
Sure.
how the group is spaced. But I'm always coming back and making sure that
They're okay.
everyone's accounted for, everyone's okay, and everyone knows where they're going. I did not start this group run for me to leave everyone in the dust and run by myself, because
Right.
I would just do that on my own. I wanted it to be a place where people could come, and even if they don't want to talk, and just be surrounded by other people running outside.
Right,
They
safety-wise,
could do
too,
that.
probably.
Yes, they
Sure.
can do that. If someone wants to come and they want to be competitive with it, and they want to race Cody or our 14-year-old who shows up, like they're more than welcome to do that.
You're pretty fast, Cody.
So-
Cody's like, I do the 4-minute mile.
I tend to stick up front.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't stay behind.
Yeah, and we've had a couple of younger guys coming out now that they're pretty fast, and so they push me a little bit.
That's
but
cool though. You guys have the
I do.
mix, right?
Yeah.
She'll normally be in
It's
the back.
fun.
I'll be in the front, and then typically
It's actually
depending on the
kinda
group
nice.
size,
Right?
Yeah, we'll have anywhere from 5 to 15-ish
20 people, yeah.
And
Oh,
when,
that's
Very
a bigger
cool.
group.
when we get
Yeah.
those bigger groups, we just naturally will end up splitting into like 3 different groups.
Man.
Kind of like an A, B, and C group. It's not officially groups. It's just you'll fall into whoever's running your pace, and you just
Yeah.
chat with whoever's running your pace.
That's
Do you guys
cool.
ever watch TV at all? You've got biking, you've got running,
much.
you've got. I mean, you guys are always on the go. I mean, is there ever a day where you're like kind of
Yeah.
tired today? Kind
Yeah.
of tired. I need to rest.
Yeah, no, I'm secretly an introvert, and so I definitely need that time of like total decompression.
Yeah.
I never
I
would have
love
thought
being
that.
around people, and I love socializing. Community means a lot to me, and being outside and moving means a lot to me. But yeah, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, that is my quiet time
Very
to.
Yeah.
interesting. Very
reset and
Very
recharge.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of interesting, you have also a nonprofit. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cody and I are both involved with a nonprofit called MS Run the US. So it's for multiple sclerosis. Both of us have personal family ties. So my aunt has MS and Cody's stepmom has MS. And that's how I started running, probably like 2018, 2019. I did not grow up a runner. I hated running. I actually really, really hated running. And so through my experiences, my family's experiences with MS, I learned of this organization, and I decided that when I got out of college and I had the time flexibility and more of an ability to commit, that I was going to run for this organization. And so it's essentially a relay across the country. Each runner commits to running about a marathon a day for about 6 to 8 days.
Jeez.
Wait, I have
Are
questions.
you kidding?
What?
Yeah.
Wait. What is considered a marathon?
You're
Yeah.
talking like the 26
How many?
miles.
How many miles a day?
26. Yeah, 26. So in 2021, 22, I don't even remember. A few years ago, I did the relay, and so I averaged about roughly 30 miles for 6 days, raising money
sat in
and
RV.
awareness for MS. He did more than just an
Wow.
RV, but
Wow.
That's
you can't
impressive.
do this stuff. I mean, you can do this stuff without a team, but it's way less fun. It was super cool to have my family and Cody out there supporting. And
Wow.
so that's how we got involved with this organization. And so
Most people are like when
Yeah.
they run a marathon, right? I mean, we've got some
Right.
friends that used to run all the time.
Probably
and
train.
they look like they're dying when they come get done, you know?
Yeah.
Even though they're pretty athletic and everything. It's a rough ride. And
Yeah.
you're doing them back to back.
This
to
is
back.
Every
This is a
single
different
crazy.
kind.
How many days a row? 7 days? 6, 7 days?
yeah, I did it for
How?
6
Why?
6 days.
How? I mean,
How do you stay
why for the
hydrated
cause,
and
but
fed, and how do you keep your
How do
body
you-
moving?
Yeah.
how do you get up How do you get up on day 3 and say, "Ooh, I can't wait to do this again today"?
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, by day 3, I woke up, and before I even moved, I thought, can I move?
That is ridiculous.
But
Wow.
the
It's a different
body
kind
is,
of training.
the
Yeah.
body is really resilient. I mean, we don't give it enough credit.
Talk about Iron Man. That's
it's-
true. That is true.
It is incredibly resilient, and that's something I've learned through both personal experiences and my own health journey, in conjunction with just working as a physical therapist.
Yeah.
You know, when people throw out different ages, yes, there is no denying that the body changes with age, but we also have a big say in how we navigate those changes too.
Right.
You are a
And
breath
so-
of fresh air.
for?
Yeah, so we raise money to support individuals living with multiple sclerosis. And so for those who don't know, MS is a neurological condition. It's an autoimmune condition where your body essentially attacks itself. And so the communication between your nervous system, so your brain, your spinal cord, your nerves kind of lose touch with each other. So think of like playing telephone and then someone doesn't say, it gets back to you and you're like, that's totally wrong. That's not even close to what started. That's kind of what's happening within your body. And so the symptoms are very widespread. Some people lose vision. Fatigue is a big one. Heat sensitivity. Some people lose the ability to walk.
Sure.
Yeah. And so a lot of what we do is with the money that's raised, it goes towards research. Very particular about the researchers that we support, the organization. And the money is also used for home modifications and helping individuals maximize like their mobility. And so really helping with like we build ramps and we install, we had a family, a lady with 3 kids in Phoenix who her AC went out.
Yeah.
And she had to choose, does she pay for her medications to manage her MS or does she pay for the air conditioner?
Right.
And so, rather than putting someone in that situation,
you help out.
They fill out. Yeah, they fill out a request for assistance, and those are the things that we support and we help out with. And so, what I really appreciate about this specific organization and why I've been with them for so long is you see where the money's going. There are a lot of organizations that I've supported over the years, and we raise buku dollars, but
you never see
you
it.
don't
You
see
don't
the
know.
direct impact of that. And so sometimes it can be really hard, especially finding out that some of these organizations are putting more money into the organization itself as opposed to the actual cause.
Right.
And so it's something I really appreciated about this was the transparency on where those dollars are going, and being able to see sometimes in your local community the direct effects of that.
Yeah.
So that was really rewarding.
Well, we definitely got to take a break, but before we do that, if somebody was listening and they wanted to donate to this organization or join you in kind of this journey and everything, can they come to the shop and learn more about it from you? And how would they contact you?
Yes, absolutely. So they can go to my personal Instagram page. It's at RunCoachMeg, or you can go to Cody's, GagnonRei, and the donation link is in there.
Okay.
You can also go to msruntheus.org, and there's a section to support a runner. And so if you choose our name, will pop up on the list of runners to support, then that'll go toward our collective goal.
Very good. Very good.
Love it.
I know a lot of people are driving, when they're listening to this, and so they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a pen or paper. But they can come to the shop and meet you,
1,000%.
get to know you, and get to know what you're doing. If you're listening right now and you'd like to help out, Sun and Spokes is your place to go. Come talk to Cody and Meghan, learn all about it. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks, with Sun and Spokes Bicycle Shop, but also running, and we'll learn more about what they do. This is the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. We'll be right back. Tax time is here, but before you spend your refund, consider real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. It's a great way to move from renter to homeowner and on the road to building wealth.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Think of me as your guide to all things real estate. I tailor my approach to your needs and, most importantly, your goals. It's time to come see me and get a plan for your success.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Visit Sherry at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results. All right, welcome back. This is Dion Ethell with Keepin' It Real, and I'm here joined by Lisa Gustafson from CoolFM, and we are talking Sun and Spokes Bicycle Shop. We're talking about bicycling, running, and we're doing that with Meghan and Cody, co-owners of this shop right here in town. Where are you located? For somebody who doesn't know, what's the address there? We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, it's 3880 East Fry Boulevard. So the easiest way to think about it is we're right on the corner of Fry Boulevard and 92.
Right behind Taco Bell.
Right behind Taco Bell and Shalotsky's.
There you go.
Perfect.
Right next to Harbor Freight and all that stuff.
Easy, super
Great.
easy.
Big green building.
Been in there many times. Considered lots of different bicycles, and then
now you're reconsidering.
Kind of. Yeah,
we've learned
out,
so much today.
Because I'm like, oh man, it seems like it's such an investment, and I'm not a great bicyclist, so I don't know. It's a little bit, there's not very many things intimidate me, but just the whole bicycling thing. My wife's the bicyclist, she's the one who is a runner too, and she's the one who gets on the treadmill even, and I'm like run to the fridge and back. And
There you go.
that's,
Yeah.
you know, and I hike a lot, you
Good
know, but
job,
you know,
Sherry.
I'm hiking, but you can kind of take your time with that a little bit. So I'm not going anywhere in any speed unless it's on a motorcycle or car. But it is kind of interesting with, you know, because you get into it, especially with the bicycle group that we were affiliated with last year. We really learned a lot, and it was really fun to get to see the different kinds of bikes. And it kind of makes you salivate a little bit because you're like, oh, man, that's a neat looking bike. And oh, it's so light. And wow, I would like to have one of those. And then you like hear the price tag and you're like, well, maybe I'd have to get a little bit more entry level. But I love that you're helping, you know, people who are maybe like me, who aren't really super into it, but would like to maybe dip their toes in it, but are a little bit worried about it. And I got to admit, I never talk to anybody over there.
He's
so,
like,
it's so
I walk in.
Because I walk in there and
and
I'm like, oh my gosh,
I'm like,
this is too much.
Right.
I'm just looking.
Because you're intimidated, like you
Yeah,
said.
it's
But you know
it's
what?
a lot.
But now, after talking with them today, don't
Yeah,
you feel so
I
much more
just feel
comfortable?
so much better.
They are the experts, and they're so fun and easygoing, and they
Yeah.
make you want to get. I want to get a bike. I've
Some say
never
a bike,
said that,
Lisa?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, honestly, every time I come in there, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You learn something new in these groups they do and the community involvement. You know, how fun.
Yeah. And even the e-bike thing, you know, talking about that a little bit too, because it's an
getting the
area
e-bike.
that I don't know much about. And it's, you know, it's kind of like any other area that you are just trying to jump in. It's like, where do you start? You can do
Yeah.
your own research and stuff, but it's a little daunting to understand what's out there and what's the best to get into, because you don't want to waste your money. I mean, all these
absolutely.
bikes cost a lot of money. And,
Yeah.
and so you want to make a wise investment.
Yes. I think that's the nice
love
part
that
about
you guys are.
talking to someone about it too, is that, you know, when you shop online, you, like you said with the shoes, you think you're getting one thing and then it shows up and it might be something totally different.
Yeah.
But being one-on-one, you have that support and that guidance too, which can be really helpful, especially when you're spending that much money, for sure.
So, and I imagine that's the same way with running shoes too.
Yeah.
Even though it's much, much cheaper, you're still investing some money. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
a good shoe isn't, you know, cheap anymore.
Yeah, they're not inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what you were talking about a couple of different brands that you guys use and one that you prefer. Is there a reason why you prefer that brand over others?
So we have both HOKA and Altra.
I've never heard of Ultra, and I'm not a runner. But
Yeah.
is that a similar kind of brand, or is that really
Very-
running oriented?
Yes, running for sure. They do a lot of hiking too. Very outdoor oriented for sure.
Yeah.
I started wearing Hokas when I first got into running the long distances.
Really?
And then I transitioned to Ultras, and now I kind of do a little bit of both. I have a Hoka race shoe that I absolutely love for the road, and then my day-to-day and mostly everything else I'm in Ultras for. There's just a comfortable shoe for my foot.
That's an interesting thing, because I remember seeing Hokas the first time, right? And really big, thick thing.
Yeah.
Definitely looked cushiony, right?
Yes.
And everybody was, oh, this is amazing. But it was people more like my age, you
Yeah.
know, a little bit older, and they were doing it for the comfort. They're on their feet a lot, you know, or maybe they got some injuries, some knees and some hips and some other things going on. So I thought it was just that, but it's running also.
Yeah, they're definitely two. I mean, they're two different brands for sure, and they make two different types of shoes completely. You know, they each have their thing that's going for. Like you said, the first thing you notice when you see Hokas is that they're tall and cushiony, and then Hokas tend to be a little more minimalistic, and their whole thing is, Ultra's a little more minimalistic, and their whole thing is having a wider toe box and whatnot. So they all offer something different, but that's kind of another reason why we chose that brand, is we can cover a lot of bases with just those two brands. And we have a little bit of each, because each shoe kind of serves its own purpose. It depends on what we're doing.
Right. Tell my wife that.
Yeah, and
I'm a gear guy, so and everything
Guess
has
what?
its purpose.
Yeah. You're buying Sherry a new bike, new shoes.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
And every brand is always coming out with new stuff. So
Yeah.
Megan's like, oh, I'm going to try their road race shoe, but
Yeah.
then she still has Ultras that she's using for other things. So
Yeah, very specific. Well, I can see that even with the shoes that I did buy. I bought them direct from Hoka, and I just ordered them Okay, this is going to sound stupid, but because they looked kind of cool. And, I thought, well, Hoka's, I mean, they're all these big fat shoes, right? It's going to be cushiony.
Yes.
And that's what I'm looking for is the cushiony thing. These are more, probably a little less cushiony than like my wife's big, thick ones. And I was like, hey, what the heck? And then, and they're much thinner. So to me, they look like much more of a running shoe. Yeah. And they have turned out to be my favorite shoe for the gym. But so I'm going to keep them. But now I need another one, And so like you guys were talking about, there's a purpose behind everything.
Yes,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
Well, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I kind of want to dive just a tad bit into why did you buy the shop? Why would you? I mean, that's kind of, you're pretty young people and getting into it. It's probably a big commitment. And what do you hope to get out of it? You're part of the community.
They're
the
both looking at each other like, who's going to answer this?
Yeah, I mean, this is fun, I'm sure, for you, but at the same time, you're part of the business community now.
For sure. Yeah, we were both kind of already doing our own things in our careers. Megan's a physical therapist, and I do a lot in real estate with rental properties and flips. So I was already self-employed. Megan was a physical therapist, like I said. And in 2025, we decided to take some travel contracts for Megan's work. And I'm pretty flexible, so I just tagged along. And then one thing led to another, and we ended up in Sierra Vista, and there was a few things happening in the cycling community, and the opportunity kind of presented itself. And me just having a long history with Sun Spokes in general and the cycling community especially, we just thought, like, man, this is a crazy opportunity to kind of keep the shop going. But not only that, like, just kind of give back to the community that has done a ton for us, not only since Megan's lived here, but since, my entire life growing up here.
Yeah.
So
no kidding. What a perfect fit.
That's kind of neat. Yeah. That's kind of neat being able to give back to the community that you grew up in. A little bit scary at all? No?
Honestly, I mean, and Cody might answer this differently, but I think when we first tossed around the idea, we were like, oh, what makes us qualified to run a bike shop? But then the more that we got talking about it, it's like, why not? I mean, this is a community that means so much to us. We absolutely love Sierra Vista. Being back made us incredibly happy. And to be able to be active part of a community that is so much of what our lives are and what we enjoy, it felt like a perfect fit. Wow. I mean, and to carry on Mark's legacy with what he was already really passionate about, and be able to, carry that forward and evolve and grow that in our own way. We both felt really, really passionately about
it sounds
doing.
like you guys are really putting your personal touch on it.
I can't think of anybody else better to do than you two, really.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. The other huge thing was just kind of back to Mark is something that he created. I mean, he already had a great staff in place. I mean, the staff, Chris, Alex, and Tristan were a huge part in why we had the confidence to purchase and actually take this project on, because like Megan said, I do have quite a bit of business background, but I'm by no means do I know how to fix everything on a bike, but we already had the staff.
And I gave you a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, well, we can kind of just focus on the business side of things and get it, keep it involved in the community and all that good stuff. So there's 5 of
you that are mainstream in the business then?
Correct. So Chris and Alex and Tristan are doing all the bike stuff. They're fixing the bikes. They're the ones going to help you with a bike when you go in. And then Megan and I are kind of spearheading the shoe stuff.
A lot of the community involvement.
And and community involvement and all that stuff. Those our guys are bike guys. They're not necessarily shoe. So that's, we brought our expertise in for that. But again, just the staff that was there was a huge deciding factor in just being willing to take it on.
Well, I think you guys are doing it right because, being tied to the community, right? Mm-hmm. People get to know you, get to know who you are, and that means a lot, resonates with people here. We're all about community, and we like living here too. And that's the whole thing. When you're a business and you're not just here to make a dollar, you're here because you love the area and that you love the community that you live in and you want to contribute to what's being built around you. I think that means a lot. It speaks volumes to who you are. Kudos to both of you for taking on a really big thing. I mean, businesses are complicated sometimes, as you
Absolutely.
know, and to keep them going and to keep them interesting and to be able to tap into the community and provide a great service, and service being a big part of it, to do all the things that you guys have been talking about throughout the show. Well, we'd love to have you back. I know we're out of time, but we've loved talking to both of you, so thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us. We
So much
enjoyed
fun.
it.
Yeah, we
Appreciate you
could
guys.
we could talk all day.
We could keep going. I know.
We really could.
We definitely would love for you to come back.
All right. Well, thanks,
Let's do
guys.
it.
Thanks, Lisa, for
Thank you.
hanging out with me
So much
another
fun.
time.
I know.
And thank you to all of you out there who are listening. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all that you do for the community. We'll see you again next week with Keepin' It Real, brought to you by Sherry Ethell and the team right here at Long Realty Studios.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
That brings us to the end of another Keepin' It Real radio show, and we just want to say a big thank you for letting us be a small part of your weekend. Whether you're a longtime listener or just caught us for the first time today, we're so glad you're here. Got something you'd love us to talk about? Maybe a local story, a cool event, maybe a guest idea. Maybe you're related to or know someone who has an interesting story, profession, or past. We would love to hear from you, so drop it in our Keepin' It Real suggestion box at Long Realty. We're located just behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or if it's easier, you can email me directly at sherry@sherryetthelteam.com or call me or text me at 717-599-2439. This is your show, and it's all about our community, our connections, and the what's up of Cochise County, and as always, keeping things real. And your voice will help shape what we do next. We'll see you next Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 104.1 CoolFM, making radio cool again.
Join us next Saturday for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.